I firmly believe in the efficiency and the gratification of a to-do list, and let me tell you why. Good morning and welcome to another day on Boisterous Cock Farmstead. We're getting later in the summer, and what that means is certain forages are getting eaten down by certain herds that I've got, and because I keep my pigs separated based on different criteria. So we've got our Durocs here. This is the one that just had the litter. This is the one that hopefully is pregnant and will be having her litter soon. So she's being isolated from her babies so that they can get weaned and that she can dry up from her milk. And she's almost there. It's been 2 weeks. I want to give her a few more days, possibly a week more. But eventually she'll join my other group of sows and barrows in my main herd. So coming through this man door here, this is the largest permanent pen that I keep pigs in, and usually I use it in the winter time, but anytime I need to kind of rotate, I have to use that pasture over there and this pen in the middle here, and then I bring the third herd through kind of the middle, the center area. So one of the benefits of having this paddock here is it is attached to my irrigated grass area. I haven't actually grazed anybody on that this year. I've let it kind of just rest a little bit and grow, and I wanted to see what would seed out or what would grow out this year without having to put any seed in there. And I'm actually really surprised. There are some areas that I never seeded that has grass coming up. So I don't know if that's just because there's no animal pressure on it right now, or if it's the irrigation or the combination of the two or whatever. But I do have, there's a gate opening right here that allows the largest wallow that I have. So I generally use this to keep the largest group of pigs together. And so there is a gate here to allow them to go out. This is normally just a 3/4 acre pasture, but I have had it opened up to my neighbor's 20 acres. And then what they do is they go around to the kind of the back L-shaped 30 acres that I have around the main 10 acres that I have fenced off here around the farmhouse. And what's been going on is, if you haven't seen the video, I'll try to put a link in the description or up at the top. But recently I had one of my sows wandered off a mile away. Long story short, she ended up dying as I was bringing her back. So there's a video just on that. But I've also had a couple other ones that have been kind of staying out a little bit longer. They weren't coming back in as frequently as I would like, and to avoid another situation where I potentially lose another pig, the forage that they're getting is not as important as keeping the pigs, especially since I have an alternative which is on the other side, and that's where I've had my boars, the 2 boars that I keep. They've been on a 4.5 acre pasture with lots of mesquite trees, and they've been able to eat to their heart's content, and they can't keep up with all the tumbleweeds and all the mesquite pods that are over there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the boars all the way through here into this paddock right here, and then close them off, and then I'll bring these girls and barrows all the way over to that other side so that they have some fresh forage, some good greens, and mesquite pods that they can munch on, at least for a little while. I do seasonally get some access to overage of produce, so that should be coming up fairly soon, and I may not have to pay too much to feed through the winter months here. But I've said it in other videos that that main group that I have there, 7 females and 3 barrows, and I've moved them a couple times since February, and I have not had to feed them out of pocket. They've just been able to, you know, graze the property and everything like that since February. So this is August now. We've got 6 months where they have not had to be fed out of pocket, which is a huge help for me, because that gets expensive pretty quick. So the only ones that I'm feeding at the moment are my 2 Durocs, that for 2 reasons. One, they're not as good on the same forage as the guinea hogs are, and 2, one of them just had a litter, and then the other one is expecting to have a litter. So I wanted to make sure that their nutrition level was higher than just what they would get from grazing. So I'm gonna come over here and see if I can see where my boys are and get them to follow me over. They may be too deep into getting whatever food they're getting this morning, and they're not even going to be interested in getting any pellets right now. So we'll see how this goes. Boys! Oh, there they are. We're in the shelter. That's good. Come on, boys. Come on, boys. One of them's got a little bit of a limp there. He must have stepped on something, or is. Sometimes with the dry desert out here, I'll notice that their toenails will split periodically, and they grow out and wear down and everything. But there's also, those mesquite trees have real big thorns on them. So it's possible he stepped on a thorn and just needs to be worked out. Come on, Gumbo. So this is not something I would normally do. Like I said, this is come on. This is something that only happens 2 or 3 times a year currently under the current management system, and it may change here before too long. I've got a couple different ideas of how I want to treat a couple pastures here. Got to wait for some rain again before I can do that, but that will be in another video. Here you go, Shaw. So he's actually gained a good bit since he's been over in that all that access to that mesquite. He blew out his coat, and he's got a nice little shiny coat coming in, relatively thick. Gumbo! He's getting interested in the girls here. Come on, big boy. Oh, stopped again. Come on, you can kiss them from this side of the fence. It doesn't take much pellets to get them to go where you want them to go. I don't feed my adults a commercial feed like this, with the exception of those little snacks like right there, unless they are lactating, then I will do that at that time. So now the challenge is going to be getting these girls to come out of here. Got a few of them that are just hanging out in the wallow here, so it might be hard to get them out until they cool off. Come on, Nova. Whoop. Who's that? Chinza. Trying to trip me up. Come on, girls. Bella. Bella. All right, now you tell me. Does that look like a pig that hasn't been fed in 6 months? I don't think so. I think they're getting plenty of food. Come on, girls! Now what I may have to do is I may have to get like the group that's moving pretty good right here with me. I may have to try to just drive them over there and then come back for the other ones that are a little slower moving, less motivated. And we got about half of them moving right now in this first group. That's good. Now this area over here is, let me stop the shaker. This area over here is where I built the reclaimed wood shelter. So if you haven't seen that video, I'll leave a link in the description for that as well. And pretty much, other than the fasteners, it was a free structure through a couple different sources of materials. So, and it can house at least a dozen of these guinea hogs, probably half that for larger breeds. And you can see there's a vast difference with the amount of trees and cover shade and even the forage there from where they were even through this pasture I just brought them through. So they should be happy if we get there. She's already eaten. First little sprig of tumbleweeds there. Come on, Grace. All right, so we will just close these guys off for now and let them. You see that one over there is already getting into the mesquite pods. So it's a big difference only having two pigs. It was more like 1.5 because the second boar was kind of a small guy. He's only about half the size of a full adult. And most of the ones that I'm running over here right now are full size, really, with the exception of 2 or 3. All right, so I've got 4 that are hanging back. I don't know if it's just they want to hang back close to that wallow that they know is there, or if it's because I brought the boys over there, if they're starting to, you know, go into heat or something like that. But they're being difficult right now, so I'm gonna switch over and finish feeding my chickens here so that they're not starving today, and feed the piglets, and then I'll go back out there and try to move them again. I'm done, at least with the exception of moving the 4 stubborn pigs over to the new paddock. So I'm gonna let them get a little hungry before I try to move them. But I'm done with chores, and today my wife is over spending time with her mother and my son in town, so I am on the farm by myself, and I am working on my to-do list. I firmly believe in the efficiency and the gratification of a to-do list, and let me tell you why. One reason being is it organizes your thoughts. You don't have to try to keep it all in your head with everything else that's going on around. If something pulls your attention away abruptly, which happens a lot of times, with using the to-do list, you have a tool that allows you to get literally right back on the same page that you were on. And so you can organize. You don't have to necessarily do them in order or anything like that. If you're able to organize them that way, then that's great. Put difficult tasks and really simple tasks all on the same list. And you can see in here, I've even got I skipped lines reason I did that is it makes the list look a little bit bigger initially, and you can do one of two things. You can just work down the list and then throw it away, or what I usually do is I'll add in, as I think of things, if I run out of space at the bottom, I'll add in another line in between those, and so then it just kind of keeps building. But I try not to add anything new unless I've already gotten a few things checked off the list. So yesterday I got 5 of these 11 things checked off of my list, and today I'm hoping to get 3 more things. And the things that I'm hoping to get done here today is there's a section of fencing that I need to reinforce with a T-post. This room over here that I need to continue to clear out so that I can work in here and start running the electrical. So a lot of work that I need to do in this room. And up until recently, when I've been working in the kitchen, I've been using this room as storage, dry storage and tool storage and things like that. But I've moved that over to my dining area for the moment on this rack. This is what we were using as a pantry up until the point where we got our kitchen cabinets in. So now we've got all of our food is tucked away. Granted, there's a little bit of a mess on the countertops there at the moment. Those two things, plus I've run PEX into the bathroom here, and although I don't have it live on anything other than just the toilet right now, I've got these old PVC connections that go under the house. So they come around the outside, and there's a ditch along here, and then they kind of cut into the side here. And I've already had a failure where this shower was at one point in time. I've had to cap that off. But because we've got PVC coming down for the vanity, already have it to the toilet, and I've got it run down for the eventual tub connections, what I'm going to do is I'm going to dig up that section of pipe outside, and I'm going to cut it off, and I'm going to cap it before it comes in here. And then that way, eventually when I start working in the bathroom here, I can just freely chew up the slab and get access to that pipe, and I've got to redo the drain and all this other stuff. So cleaning that room, capping off that water line, and reinforcing that fence, those are the 3 things I definitely want to get done today. And then anything else that I have time for, I will consult the list. Anything that I encounter while I'm doing those things, if I need to add it to my list, I will do so. So stick around as I finish off those items on my list that I just mentioned, and join me for the next ones as well.